free world.
Yeah. My hitters be moving and shaking and stay out the streets. Yeah. Your hitters be hating, your hitters be looking so weak. Yeah. My hitters be moving and shaking and stay out the streets. Yeah. Your hitters be hating, your hitters be looking so. Snuff the shooter, snuff the looter, snuff the booster, snuff the money mover. Snuff the hater, snuff the player, snuff your hairline, tape up and shape up. Snuff the shooter, snuff the looter.
Welcome to Hell to the Culture, a Redskins podcast powered by Good Ass Sports. This is your boy Rome. I'm here with my man Bryce. Bryce, how you doing?
Man, I can't complain at all. Rome, what up?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. The Redskins are sitting at 5-2, man, and we got the Falcons, man. It's a big NFC matchup. I know coming into the season, this matchup probably didn't seem like it would be as big as it is right now, but the Falcons are reeling a little bit at 3-4. It looks like the Redskins could be in the driver's seat in the whole conference. So let's go ahead and start with our first segment, the state of the culture, the state of the franchise. We're midway through the season, so the first thing we're going to discuss is where the team is and where we thought we would be. So, Bryce, I'm going to let you go ahead and break down where you thought the Redskins would be at this point of the season way back in August. What were you thinking way back then?
Yeah, man. Well, when I first saw our schedule, I would be lying if I said I saw 5-2. I was expecting more along the lines of 4-3. I did think we had a favorable early schedule. But I can definitely say I'm surprised. I did not think we would be here as record-wise. Defensively, I did not think we would be here either, but offensively, I definitely thought we'd be a lot better. So my biggest surprises so far have been the defense and the lack of offense. But and I'm also surprised at the record. I didn't think at this point we'd be 5-2, man. We're sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too surprised at the record. I kind of saw 5-2, 4-3 at the halfway point. At the beginning of the season, I was more worried about this second half of the season that's coming up. And looking at it, I mean, we got Atlanta this week, Texans are coming up, bunch of division games, 2 of them against the Eagles. And Jacksonville and Tennessee both looked a lot stronger to me at the beginning of the season. Now, looking at the schedule, all these games look winnable. So we're definitely at a different place than I thought we would be. It's a different 5-2. It's a different vibe. I didn't see the defense being as good like you alluded to. But, yeah, man, it's a good place to be. Like I was saying earlier, we're in the driver's seat. So what are your predictions for the rest of the season, knowing that some of these teams that were looking good aren't looking as good now?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right, man. A lot of these teams that we thought were going to be powerhouses, we thought were going to be tough competitors, they've turned out not to be so good. I'm talking about teams like the Jaguars, teams like the Titans. These are playoff teams from last year in the AFC. And even teams like the Texans, who everyone thought were going to have a crazy bounce-back year, they're looking like they're starting to turn the corner a little bit, but still not really where anyone expected them to be. So I really like our schedule going forward, man. This Falcons game is the biggest of the next 3 to me. After the Falcons, we go Bucks, Texans, Cowboys, who we've already beat. If we can win this Falcons game, man, and sit at 6-2, I just think that really ups our chances of not only winning the division but making that playoff run. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, man. Looking at the schedule, I think all the way up to the Eagles game, I think we win. I think we win all the way up to the Eagles game. I think we'll be looking really good. I think it's going to come down to if we beat the Eagles. That's honestly what I think it's going to come down to. We have an easier schedule than they do. I think they have like the 4th most difficult schedule left in the league. But, yeah, like you were saying, a lot of the teams that we were playing or that were expected to be good or in the playoffs last year aren't looking that good. So if we can just take care of business against those teams and win one against the Eagles, I think the division is ours. I say it's like a 60% chance Washington keeps this first-place lead all the way to the end of the year.
Yeah, man, I could see that. I hope it happens that way. You bring up the Eagles. I mean, you're talking about a team that still has got to play the Saints and the Rams in L.A. So that first-place schedule is not a joke, and we're going to see how they respond to it. But it's definitely not going to be an easy road for them. And if the Skins can just keep doing what they've been doing, we should be sitting pretty come the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And the next question is, if once we do make to the playoffs, like let's say we win the division, like I think we will, how far do you see them going once we get to the playoffs?
Yeah, see, now that brings me to our identity that we seem to have carved out. The Skins have turned themselves into an old school football team. Control the clock, run the ball, stop the run, and keep your turnovers low. That method will keep you in just about every game. I mean, if you can play that ball control type of football, you're not going to often get blown out, and you're not going to too often find yourself in shootouts. Now, the key is once all the teams you're playing are all high-powered offenses, can your identity sustain itself? That's the big question. I don't know if the Redskins are going to be willing to come out of themselves enough to win those games in the playoffs. If they're not willing to adjust what they've done and at least throw some new wrinkles in come playoff time, we could see a first-round exit, especially if we're talking about us going against one of those top powerhouse offensive teams. We saw what it looked like in the Saints game, and it just seemed like we were overmatched with the firepower that they had. If we don't see a change in our offensive firepower soon, I would be a little worried come playoff time. But like I said, with the style that we've adopted, I mean, you're going to be in a lot of games, so you just never know. If you can beat up the opponent, you never know. But we shall see. What do you think about that, Ron?
I think the way the Redskins are playing right now is perfect for playoff football. But like you said, it's all about sustaining it. And I'm not trying to throw any shade on AP, but we're riding the coattails of a 33-year-old running back. So really the only question is how will he be doing come January after a full season of taking hits and whatnot. I would even venture to say that if Rob Kelly returns from IR, or maybe Samaje Perine will need to start developing, because as much as I love AP and as much as he keeps defying Father Time, it's a long season, man, and if he can't go in the playoffs at full go, then that we could be a one-round exit. And I also agree with you about the passing game, man. If Alex Smith and Jay Gruden can't come up with some type of something to get this passing game going, if we do end up in a shootout, then, yeah, it could be trouble. So we'll see, man. Like I said, though, we still got a long way to go, a lot of football left, a lot could happen, a lot could change. But the way I see it right now, I'd say 60% chance Redskins win the division and a pretty good chance that they win at least one playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, I like how that sounds. I can see it unfolding like that. If we get to the playoffs, I definitely think if we're able to beat up on another team, and especially if we end up playing a team that's similar to us in build, you know, if we end up playing a team that's about that ball control, that's about running the ball, that wants to pound it, I think we match up perfectly with other teams similar to us. So it all depends about the matchup, but the way we're playing now, man, I definitely am optimistic with any matchup we were to get.
Very optimistic, man. Very. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the rest of the NFC East real quick, man. You want to break down these power rankings?
Yeah, let's get it, man. Let's get it. So in the NFC East, headed to Week 9, our power rankings are as follows. Number 1, the Washington Redskins, who, before the trade deadline, added Clinton Dix. They doubled down on defense. Always a great move if your defense is your strength. Number 2, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Speaking of doubling down, they doubled down on offense. They went out and got Golden Tate, the number 1 yards after the catch receiver, not only receiver but player in the entire league over the last 2 seasons. You're talking about a guy that when he gets the ball in his hands, he has a legit chance to take it to the house. And when you talk about Golden Tate and his yak, that's a statistic that's usually reserved for running backs. Usually running backs are the ones leading the league in yak because they get the head start out the backfield. But not for Tate, man. He's just a beast, and he fits what they're trying to do perfectly. Number 3, we've got the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I mean, not too much to say about the Cowboys because they're coming off a bye week. They went out and got Amari Cooper. We'll see how he's able to fit. If with the bye week, it might be a smoother fit and a smoother transition than any other teams that brought in a guy before the trade deadline. And at number 4, we've got the New York Giants, man. The New York Giants, they're definitely looking forward to next season. It'll be interesting to see if they let Kyle Lauletta, the rookie quarterback out of Richmond, get the start in replace of Eli Manning, who's clearly just overmatched, shell-shook, and it's no use of letting him keep taking that punishment. So it would be interesting to see what they do with their quarterback situation going forward.
Yeah, man. A couple comments on the power rankings. I agree with the rankings, and I agree with the Golden Tate trade. And I just wanted to piggyback off the Amari Cooper since they're on the bye week. Not only are they on the bye week, they also have the extra day to play on Monday Night Football. So there'll be a little bit of a spotlight on Cooper and Dak as well. So if this thing doesn't work out on the national spotlight, man, Dallas could be having a rough Tuesday. Dak and them could be having a rough Tuesday. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that game and seeing how Dak and Cooper connect. Because if they do end up getting a legitimate connection, man, that could make that Thanksgiving game for the Skins a little bit more scary than it was this first go-round.
Yeah, man, you make a good point, man. With that extra time they've got, apparently they've been going to the park and they've been running through plays. They've been on FaceTime trying to get the hand signals down. So we'll see. We'll see just how serious they are about getting that instant chemistry. But it's definitely going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting to watch because you're right. If the Cowboys can get that connection between Dak and Amari, they could definitely prime themselves to make a run because the division is still pretty open, especially with them having 6 more division games left.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, so, one more thing about the NFC East, man. At the beginning of the season, is this how you saw it playing out, man? A lot of people thought the Eagles were primed for a repeat. They added some star players. The Giants definitely, I didn't see the Giants being this, well, let me take that back. I didn't see them being as bad as they are, but I didn't think they were going to be as good as other people thought they were going to be. What were your thoughts, though, at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, man. Well, one thing I always keep in context is the NFC East has literally been a crapshoot to decide the winner over the last 15 seasons. In fact, over the last 15 seasons, nobody has repeated in winning the NFC East. So when you look at that, I always felt like the Eagles were not going to win the division just because of how tough a division we play in. With that said, I expected a much more of a resurgence from the Giants. I didn't think that Eli was done. Not only did I not think Eli was done at the beginning of the season, but I didn't think their offensive line would be this terrible, especially bringing in a guy like Solder from the Pats. So the Giants definitely, they were a letdown. The Cowboys are right around where I expected them to be. They just don't have that next level offense that you need to really be shine, especially even with their running back Ezekiel Elliott, man. They should be a lot better than they are if they had that quarterback. I just don't think Dak is the one for it. And the Skins, we've been the biggest surprise. The Eagles, like I said, I didn't expect them to repeat. I expect them to still be strong, but I did not see it playing out the way it has, and I definitely did not see the Redskins being first this early.
Yeah, man, I thought the Eagles would definitely be a lot better. So I would agree with I didn't see the Redskins being in first place. But let's go ahead and jump into the next segment, man. I got some fill-in-the-blank questions for you. You ready?
Let's get it.
All right. So the most surprising thing so far this season is blank.
The most surprising thing so far this season is our lack of offense. Alex Smith coming off his career season. Jay Gruden, the guy known for scheming players wide open. I thought it would be a match made in heaven. So far, it hasn't been.
Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%, man. I'm still very hopeful, but it has not been what I thought. All right, let's jump to the next one. We didn't even mention this yet, man. I can't believe we haven't mentioned this. So the Redskins did make a trade. Clinton Dix has joined the team. And that is pretty huge, man. So Clinton Dix brings blank to this team.
Clinton Dix brings security on the back end to this team. If anybody just jog your memory, I hate to do this to you, but jog your memory back to the Saints game. Our young safety Monte Nicholson got exposed, and not just on one play, but a few plays. I went back and watched all 22, and the play that it looked like Josh Norman got beat bad, he expected safety help in the form of Monte Nicholson. So a guy like man, a proven commodity, all-pro player before. Not that he brings more range than Monte, but I would say he brings more playmaking ability than Monte. And now we can use Monte in that third safety role. So if we do need that extra coverage on the back end, we've got 3 guys who are all rangy back there. So I think he just brings security to the back end of our defense.
Yeah, man, I would agree with that one too. It's looking like he might not do too much in this first game since he just got traded in the middle of the week. But I would look to him to be starting come the Buccaneers game, the Texans game for sure. All right, question number 3. Blank is missing from the passing game.
Risks are missing from the passing game. Alex Smith, for all of his all of his, greatness in not turning the ball over, he fails to take risks. And sometimes to make those big plays, to flip field, you got to take those shots. And we just haven't had the risky play from our quarterback. We need a little bit more of a gunslinger mentality out of Alex, and I think the passing game will get right back on track.
Okay. All right, man. We're going to jump into some keys to victory for this weekend's game. I'm going to go ahead and start first. My first key to victory is going to be controlling the clock, man. Like you were just saying, our passing game is missing the risk-taking factor. Well, the Atlanta Falcons are not missing the risk-taking factor. Matt Ryan is playing at an MVP level. He has no problem throwing the ball a ton of times and taking a ton of shots. So we got to keep that off the field as much as possible. Like you were just saying, our guys aren't taking those same risks. So I don't want to see a shootout in this game. We got to control the clock. And my second key to victory is going to be get to Matt Ryan. When he is on the field, we got to hit him. We got to get in his face, got to light him up. He's not a mobile quarterback. And just like any other quarterback who's not mobile, if he takes enough shots, he's not going to be the same guy.
Yeah, man. I'd have to agree with that, man. If we can get that pressure, that always bodes well. So let me jump into my keys for victory. My first key to victory is limiting. I'm kind of piggybacking off you with controlling the clock, but I want us to limit Matt Ryan's possessions. I don't want to see Matt Ryan with 8-9 chances to lead his offense. If that's the case, you just know with the firepower they have, they're going to convert on more than less of them. They're going to convert. They're going to get a couple touchdowns if you give them 8 chances. So let's try to keep them in between, around 5 possessions, maybe 6. Let's really control that ball, like you said, and let's not let Matt Ryan onto the field. My second key to victory is to attack the middle of the Atlanta Falcons defense. Everyone knows how the NFL is transitioning to the passing attack, and defenses have been, they've been reactionary. And by being reactionary, they've started to gain and draft linebackers who are smaller, faster, quicker guys. Now, what happens when you draft one of those faster linebackers? Usually they're a little bit frail. You talk about a guy like Deion Jones, one of the best linebackers in the league, sure. He's only 225 pounds. Let's attack the middle of this Falcons defense. Let's attack them in the interior. Let's only focus all of our resources to the middle. I don't want to see too many outside zone runs. I don't want to see too many outside passing plays. If we're going to pass the ball, let's pass it to the middle. If we're going to run the ball, let's run it right up the gut with AP.
Agreed there, man. Agreed there. So with that said, who scares you the most on the Falcons?
Yeah. So with so many weapons that they have, it's like pick your poison. It's some obvious ones, and Matt Ryan definitely scares me. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to go with the rookie. I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley. He's had some games this season where you just look at him and you say, wow, this guy is unstoppable. And really the thing about it is he's not really unstoppable, but he has a guy across the field from him that is unstoppable in Julio Jones. Julio is unstoppable, and when everyone's putting their resources to stopping Julio, it's leaving Calvin wide open. If he only has to beat a corner on a double move, Calvin Ridley's got some of the best route running out of any of the rookies that came out. So let's just hope that let's hope Dunbar's healthy. But if not, and if something does happen to Dunbar, he goes down, let's just hope Greg Stroman is ready for that task, because whoever is guarding Calvin Ridley is going to get a lot of one-on-one action while we're trying to give some help to Julio.
Yeah, man, I would agree with that one. If Stroman, whoever's out there, really, Dunny or Stroman, it's going to be a tough cover because they got Sanu, they got Julio, and like you were saying, Calvin Ridley, man, you don't want to just leave him one-on-one even though he's the rookie in the group. The player that I'm most concerned about, I'm going to go with Matt Ryan, for the simple fact that this guy is playing at an MVP level, and the reason people aren't talking about him like that is because the Falcons are 3-4. If they were winning, he'd be thrusted into that conversation. He's at a 71 completion percentage right now, 15 touchdowns, already over 2,000 yards. He's only played 7 games. So to me, this game is a lot like the Giants. The Giants have some weapons, and the Falcons got some weapons. And I think the biggest difference between the two is the quarterback play. The Falcons got a guy that can get it to their weapons, and the Giants did not. So that'll be the biggest thing that'll be the difference to me. So I'm most worried about Matt Ryan, and I think, like I was saying with the keys to victory, we just got to get to him, so that way it'll neutralize the strength of their offense. But let's jump into the rest of the league real quick before we get out of here, man. We're halfway through the season, like we've been saying, and we gave our our Redskins MVPs and our Redskin midseason awards out on a pod that we've already done, an episode that's already going to come out soon. So we want to talk a little bit about the rest of the league. Who do you think your league MVP would be right now?
Yeah, man, let's jump into it, man. So league MVP, I went old school, and I went with the running back, man. I went with Todd Gurley. Todd has been great, man. In 8 games, he has 800 yards. That's 100 yards a game average. There's no other back that's even close to getting 100 yards a game. Actually, the next closest is at 88. That's Ezekiel Elliott. He's only getting 88 yards a game. So, I mean, when you talk about a guy like Todd Gurley, you can give him the ball every single time. He's got 11 touchdowns on the season. I think he scored in his last, 13 or 14 games. He's had a touchdown. So he's automatic, man. And Todd Gurley gets my MVP so far.
Yeah, man, that's crazy because I know you don't see my notes right now, but Todd Gurley is who I have written down for MVP as well. So I'm not even going to say too much, man. You already just broke it down. What I will say is that I don't think he will win it. If I had a vote, it would go to him. But it's a quarterback-driven league, and Patrick Mahomes is running away with it right now. So if I had to pick, or if I had to predict who it will be, I would say Patrick Mahomes. But if I had to pick, I would say Todd Gurley. So what about Rookie of the Year, man?
Yeah, see, now Rookie of the Year, man, you could call this one a little bit of a toss-up, but I would go with the quarterback, and thus far, I would go with Baker Mayfield. I could also jump to the defensive side, but based off what I've seen and coming out, I did a lot of work, a lot of studying on these rookie quarterbacks, and from what I've seen so far, Baker's been the best guy. His pocket presence is what's really captured me. In the pocket, man, he makes those last split-second decisions that you just don't see from a rookie. His knowledge of the game, you just don't usually see it from a rookie. It's almost like the guy has eyes in the back of his head. So if I had to pick one, I would be going with Baker Mayfield.
I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley. I think he's been incredible, man. Just looking at the film and even looking at him live, man. Like the things that Saquon can do at the running back position, or just as a rookie, are just otherworldly to me, man. He's had nowhere to go but up. The sky's the limit. Hopefully that team gets him a better offensive line so he can actually have some people blocking for him, and then imagine what he's going to do. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Saquon.
Yeah,
you want to do some...
Saquon been balling, man. Let me throw one more guy out there too, man, because you reminded me of another rookie when you threw out Saquon. Because for all Saquon's doing, he's actually leading all rookies in total scrimmage yards. But the guy leading rookie in rushing yards is a man by the name of Philip Lindsay. He's only beating Saquon by about 20 yards. But Philip Lindsay's been balling, and although, like you said, the quarterback-driven league, so I'm going to go Baker Mayfield just because I like what I've seen from the eye test. If I'm just looking at stats only, Philip Lindsay's got to be in the conversation. So just to give him a little bit of love over in Denver.
Yeah, definitely, man. He has been balling on the low, too. Like, people are not talking about that, so that was a good pick. But you want to give an early Super Bowl prediction?
Yeah, man. Hey, as the homer that I am, I have to fight myself back to not pick the Redskins because I want to say Redskins so bad. But I think right now, if I had to call it, I would be going with the Saints, and I would be going with the Patriots. I know the Rams are a good pick right now, but I just think that Drew Brees and his experience would probably win out if those two teams had to go head-to-head in the playoffs. And on the other side, man, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. And I'm just not picking against Tom Brady when it comes to that. Don't get me wrong. I know KC, they've played him tough. But when it comes to playoff time, Tom Brady will have their number. So I'm going to go with New England, and I'm going to go with New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my pick. I'm sticking with my pick from August, and that's the Saints Steelers. I think Le'Veon Bell is going to come back. I think he's going to be fresh. I think he's going to ball. I think the Steelers are going to shoot past everybody with the best running back who's going to be the freshest come December and January. And, yeah, I'm definitely sticking with the Saints. I didn't think they'd be 6-1 at this point, but I also kind of hope the defense will be a little bit better. But the way that offense looks, man, you can never discredit Drew Brees at all. So like you were saying, I think the Rams are looking really good, but I think Drew Brees' experience will win out over the Rams, even though they have a legit defense. So I'm going to go Saints, Steelers for my Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's not a bad pick at all, man. That's not a bad pick at all. I could definitely see I could see Big Ben really making some noise when it gets to playoff time too, man. Especially the way he's been playing this year. He's always knows how to find the open guy.
Yeah, definitely, man. You got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Final thoughts, man. It's just, hey, Redskins. If we go on a 4-game win streak, you know, I know when we were on the 2-game win streak, I said to get to 3 means we turn the corner. But if we get to 4. I mean, I might get a little belligerent. I might start talking dirty. I really might start talking dirty if we get to 4 wins in a row. Because 4 wins in a row to me means that's a quarter of a season. You just swept a quarter of the season. That means you got something serious. It's yet to be seen, but Redskins Nation, we get 4 wins in a row, just know I'm going to be much more bullish on the Redskins.
Yeah, man, I agree with you on that one, especially if we get it over the Falcons, because this is if I had to predict this game, and I know this is held to the culture, we're all about the Skins here, but I'm leaning a little bit towards Atlanta. This is one of the games I had marked on my early schedule as an L. But if we can go out and beat Atlanta, beat a high-powered offense that throws the ball and slings it around, then I think that changes the perception, not just for me and Skins fans, but I think it changes the national media perception. And I think you're right to be bullish on the Redskins if we can come out here, especially it's a home game. People have been talking trash about how other teams have home field advantage at FedEx and blah, blah, blah. So this is another big week, man. It seems like almost every game this season has been a statement game for the Redskins, but or a turn the corner game, as you would say. But yeah, man, I'm 100% with you, man. It's going to be a lot more trash talking and a lot more bullish talk on the Redskin to keep it a little professional.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. And like, if you look at the schedule and how it's unfolded, like this is kind of like the next high-powered offense we're facing. The first was the Saints, and the next is the Falcons. So if we can come out here and really put a whipping on the Falcons like we have these last 3 games, I mean, it'll show you that we're ready for high-powered offenses, because just 4 weeks ago when we had Drew, or 5 weeks ago when we had Drew Brees, we weren't ready for the high-powered offense. Maybe we are now, so we'll get to find out Sunday.
Definitely, man, definitely. Well, this has been another Hail to the Culture podcast, man. I'm your boy Rome, here with my man Bryce. HTTR Culture is the Twitter. If you guys ever want to check us out on there, feel free to tweet us. We love interacting with the fans, man. We love hearing positive feedback or negative feedback. If you disagree with what we said, let us know, man. It's all love, man. So you got anything else to say, Bryce?
Nothing else but hail to the culture and hail to the Redskins.
We out.
Free world. Yeah. My hitters be moving and shaking to stay out the streets. Yeah. Your hitters be hating, your hitters be looking so weak. Yeah. My hitters be moving and shaking to stay out the streets. Yeah. Your hitters be hating, your hitters be looking so. Snuff the shooter, snuff the looter, snuff the booster, snuff the money mover. Snuff the hater, snuff the player, snuff your hairline tape up and